Good morning, everybody. Today's lesson is going to be all about chickens today. Welcome to my hen house. This is one of my birds. We're going to talk today about what it takes to get from this to the eggs that you use for breakfast, for baking, for everything. How are eggs actually formed in the body of the chicken? What does it take to get an egg a day? And then a little bit about the egg itself. So join me today as we take a little bit of a deeper look into the world of chickens. As you can tell, we are inside my chicken coop run right now. And in general, a setup looks pretty similar to this for most people. I'm about ready to take this guy out. This is just extra light that's on a timer. We are now coming into longer days, and chickens are triggered by the amount of light in the day to start laying their eggs. So in the wintertime, I have to add extra lighting during our darker mornings and our earlier evenings in order to provide that. But we're getting closer to the less of a need for that. And then inside my coop, I have my feed suspended from the ceiling, and I also have my waterer suspended from the ceiling. Having them suspended up off the ground keeps everything a little bit cleaner. The chickens can use their body more effectively instead of going all the way down to the ground. And chickens are birds, and they like to scratch and peck with their feet, so they shove all this stuff everywhere, and if it's on the ground, it usually just ends up in the feeder or in the water, making it dirty and less sanitary. So this is better for me and for them. Along my wall here, I also have additional containers that contain some supplements like this. So I give them some of what we call grit and oyster shell, and you'll see in a moment why those are important, especially for egg-laying chickens. So those sit here, and the chickens can peck at them whenever they want. Another thing that's really important to keeping chickens is to keep them from boredom. So this used to be a total perfect square, and this is called a flock block. And it's basically just full of little bird seed, corn, stuff that they like. It's a treat, but it's a solid block, so they have to work at it. They have to peck at it and scratch it in order to break it apart and eat it. So a boredom buster is what we call it, just to keep their behavior in check. So let's talk a little bit about what's happening inside the actual chicken in order to form and then lay these eggs. This is a diagram, and I'll include a picture of it down below in our post so you can see it up close and personal just a little bit better. But starting at the uppermost part of the bird and then getting towards the end, we've got several things going on. First up, the ovary. A lot of people think the ovaries would be placed much closer to the end result, but the ovaries are where they start. Remember, we are eating eggs. They're just not fertilized. So we have to start up in the beginning part of the female reproductive system. So the ovary is going to release an egg, much like it would do in females, and it's going to start to travel down through the rest of the system. And through the rest of the system, we will develop things like the egg yolk and then the egg shell. So that's why the nutrition of the bird and what we're giving it as far as calcium supplements is super important, because a shell is 98% calcium. So it takes a lot in order to do that. And then the bird needs some muscles to form some contractions to push the egg further down and then out the body of the animal. So it's actually coming out of an opening called the vent. And this is also the opening for the bird to do its excretion of waste products. So how long is this process of laying an egg actually going to take? In order to fully develop a single egg, it's going to take somewhere between 25 to 27 hours, depending on the age and the breed of the bird. Just like in humans, chickens are born with all of the eggs they will ever lay. They're just immature, sitting up in the ovaries, waiting to be released and then developed. So she will release one egg from the ovary every 24 hours, but it will take the full 24 hours or a little bit longer in order to fully develop everything within the egg as we know it, and the shell, and then it coming out of the body. Hello, girls. They're camera shy. I also give them vegetable scraps every so often. I'm actually going to give them some of my salad mix that I didn't eat in time, so here we go. It's like candy. Chickens are really fun pets to have, and then you get a benefit by eating their product. So if you have the space for chickens, I really encourage you to get some. They're pretty easy animals to care for, and they're really fun to watch and interacting with each other and with you. People always ask me, well, how do chickens lay eggs without a rooster around? Well, we don't want a rooster if we're going to want to eat these eggs. A rooster mating with a hen would fertilize the egg, much like in human reproduction. And then that egg would become fertilized, which means we would start to see an embryo producing and a baby chick hatch in about 3 weeks. So if I want to eat eggs, I don't want a rooster around. So I only have these 4 girls in order to just keep my breakfast chain going. Well, I hope today was an interesting video for you and taking a look at what it takes to actually get from a chicken to an egg for your breakfast table. Today's challenge is to research and find a new recipe using eggs that you've never tried before. Eggs can be used for breakfast, but beyond that, I use them a lot in baking. And I would love to see your recipe ideas down below in the comments. I'm going to leave you with a quick look at my birds having a great old time eating all this salad mix and roaming around the coop. See you in the next video.